Hey everybody, happy Friday. This is Sports Fanatic News. I'm Joe Boric. This is a video on the reaction to the Thursday night football game. Ended up being a battle of pretty solid defenses. Again, the Broncos defense, statistically and everything but points allowed, is in the top tier of defenses. They don't allow a lot of yardage, but they always allow those one big plays or two big plays that allow the other teams to get points, or because of their quarterback play, they have a turnover that puts a team in the red zone right away, that puts the defense in a tough spot, and then they get points that way. So, that did not happen yesterday. Simeon did turn it over before his injury. He went 5 and 9 for 67 yards before he got injured. But then Brock Osweiler came in and completely dominated the Colts. Now, granted, putting it in perspective, the Colts defense is one of the bottom tier of the league. But that throw he made to his tight end, it doesn't matter whose defense you're playing. He threaded the needle right by the guy's arm and got it right to his big tight end for the touchdown. That has nothing to do with the defense. And then his rushing touchdown that he ran it in had to do with a good read. He read the defense and saw that nobody was open, and he had a gigantic lane and took off and took advantage of it. Those two plays really have nothing to do with the defense because he threaded the needle and then was able to read the defense. So that was good part. You got to give credit where credit is due to Brock Osweiler for those two plays. Now, the other touchdown, the guy was more open in the corner of the end zone, Latimer, and he went up and made the catch. So that was poor defense. But the other two touchdowns he had, the rushing and the passing to his tight end, you got to give credit where credit is due. And Brock Osweiler came in and balled out and stepped up against a poor defense, which is what you want to see your backup do. If your backup has to come in, you want to see him take the load, step up, and he went above and beyond the call of duty against the Indianapolis Colts, who, honestly, I think the Colts would have had a better chance to win the game if Simeon stayed in, because Simeon keeps the ball in your hands per se, but he wasn't having the best game. And Osweiler, when he's going good, does have the ability to spread the field and throw it down the field and get it up to guys a little bit more than Trevor Siemian once he gets himself going. And he got himself going right away yesterday, which was very impressive. He's actually the first QB in Broncos history to be a backup and throw 2 TDs and rush for one in the history of the Denver Broncos while coming in later in the game due to an injury from the starting quarterback. And then also, the Broncos stepped up and destroyed Indy in yardage in the second half. They had about 270 yards in the second half to Indy just having about 90 to 95. So they stepped up and really played a great second half under Brock Osweiler. They rallied around him. He was being a leader. You saw him go up to his defensive player after getting a touchdown and basically say, hey, we got you the lead. Now we need you guys to keep it, which they did. So it was an overall pretty impressive game for the Denver Broncos in a season they're trying to salvage and have some good stuff moving forward. To see Osweiler be able to step up like that, where now he can be in the conversation to be a good backup quarterback again, where before it was more, he's starting to trend downward in stats, where he had that one good season, and then he started trending downward and wasn't able to get his roots going again as a backup. This game could help. He's probably going to start again next week with Simeon being out, unless if Paxton Lynch is healthy and they decide to go with him. But he has time to prove that he can be a good backup. And on bad teams, teams that are developing and want to let a young guy take a year, he might be able to be a starter, but he's not a starter that's going to get you above and beyond where you want to go without having a bunch of stuff around him. So he's going to at least prove this season, he has a lot of time to prove that he's a good backup to have to step in and do what he did that game and come in and ball out and read the defense well, go for a rushing TD, and make that pinpoint accurate throw to the tight end. Again, the Colts are a piss-poor defense, but the 2 plays he made for 2 of his touchdowns, doesn't matter what defense you're against, you still have to read the defense as a QB and see that you're not going to get anyone open. You got to take off and run, and you got to read the D and realize you can thread the needle and get it right in there to a tight end. So he played very impressive, played very well, and Denver had a great game. So that has been the reaction to the Denver Broncos and Indianapolis Colts. I'm Sports Fanatic News. This is Joe Boric. Peace out, everybody.